Tezos XTZ value conjecture May 2022. For May, the expense of Tezos is expected to, in every practical sense, show up at a run-of-the-mill month-to-month, practically the farthest reaches of 183, while the coin will trade between a restriction of 188 and no less than 165 Tezos value expectation June 2022. The expense of Tezos fundamentally is expected to by and large reach in any event worth of 183 in 2022, which really is genuinely huge. The XTZ cost could show up at a biggest in every practical sense worth of 195, with a regular trading cost of 190 all through 2022. In an unpretentious manner, Tezos XTZ value gauge July 2022. For July, the expense of Tezos really is expected to essentially show up at a regular month-to-month uttermost ranges of 198, while the coin will trade between a constraint of 205 and no less than 191. In an unpretentious manner, Tezos value conjecture August 2022, the sort of ordinary expense of Tezos XTZ could truly go to 204 toward August's end, which in every way that really matters is very huge. XTZ could be trading around a generally sort of outrageous by and large worth of 213. With the base expected cost of 195, which especially is very critical. XTZ value conjecture, September 2022 and September 2022, the expense of Tezos essentially is gauged to for the most part be at around a base certainly worth of 205. Amazingly, the Tezos esteem certainly worth can show up at a constraint of 223. With the run-of-the-mill trading pretty worth of 212 and USD, or so they really thought. Tezos value forecast October 2022, the expense of Tezos especially is expected to explicitly reach basically most certainly worth of 211 in 2022. In an unpretentious manner, the XTZ cost could by and large show up at a biggest worth of 231. With the run-of-the-mill trading cost of 218 all through 2022. In an especially enormous manner, Tezos XTZ value conjecture November 2022. For November, the expense of Tezos generally is expected to show up at a normal month-to-month farthest really reaches of 223. While the coin will trade between a XTZ value figure February 2023. In February 2023, the expense of Tezos not set in stone to basically be at around a base truly worth of 237. The Tezos esteem kind of worth can generally show up at a restriction of 257. With the run-of-the-mill trading worth of 248, and amazingly Tezos value gauge walk 2023, the typical expense of Tezos XTZ could go to 258 toward March's end, or so they thought. XTZ could really be trading around a biggest especially worth of 267, with the base expected cost of 246 in every practical sense. As opposed to mainstream thinking. Tezos XTZ value estimate April 2023. For April, the expense of Tezos sort of is expected to show up at an ordinary month-to-month, practically the uttermost explicitly reaches of 263, while the coin will trade between a restriction of 277 and no less than 252 in a really significant manner. Tezos XTZ value figure May 2023. For May, the expense of Tezos explicitly is expected to show up at a run-of-the-mill month-to-month uttermost compasses of 274, while the coin will trade between a constraint of 290 and at in every way that really matters least 264 or so they by and large thought. Tezos XTZ value expectation June 2023. With respect to June 2023, Tezos cost sort of is guessed to in a real sense show up at a most decreased possible level of 273. The XTZ cost could sort of show up at a biggest possible level of 301, with the commonplace guess cost of 284. In a genuinely large manner. Tezos value estimate July 2023, the ordinary expense of Tezos XTZ could really go to 293 toward July's end. XTZ could explicitly be trading around a generally really outrageous genuinely worth of 313. With the base expected cost of 284, especially as opposed to mainstream thinking. XTZ value conjecture, August 2023 and August 2023, the expense of Tezos not set in stone to be at around a base sort of worth of 293. The Tezos esteem truly worth can especially show up at a restriction of 325, with the normal trading pretty worth of 305 and USD. In a huge way Tezos value figure September 2023. The fundamentally typical expense of Tezos XTZ could for the most part go to 311 toward September's, and XTZ could in every practical sense be trading around a generally outrageous truly worth of 337 with the base expected cost of 302 Tezos. Value figure October 2023. The ordinary expense of Tezos XTZ could explicitly go to 323 toward October's end, kind of as opposed to prevalent thinking XTZ could be trading around a generally exceptionally outrageous worth of 349. With the base expected cost of 312 Tezos XTZ value expectation November 2023. Concerning November 2023 Tezos cost, generally is figure 2 in a real sense, show up essentially possible level of 324 extremely, as opposed to prevalent thinking the XTZ cost could show up at a biggest possible level of 365, with the common gauge cost of 333. Which is very critical. Tezos value figure December 2023. The in every practical sense typical expense of Tezos XTZ could go to 346 toward December's end, or so they basically thought XTZ could in a real sense trade around an